people, we just saw the 2025 Royal Rumble play out. Charlotte Flair returned and won the Women's Rumble. Jey Uso won the Men's Rumble. If anybody tells you that they had Jey Uso as their pick, they are lying from the pit of hell. And my predictions were wrong, which is okay. But now we have to figure out the paths for these two people on the way to WrestleMania 41, who they will face, what the stories might look like. It's all exciting. Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a wrestling fan from Ghana, West Africa. And if you do like the content on this channel, please make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to turn on the post notification bell so you are notified whenever I post a new video. Now let's get into it. Now, to be clear, there are three paths that these superstars could take on their way to WrestleMania. Yes, I said three, I didn't say two, because the NXT titles too are at play. If you remember, in 2020, Charlotte Flair challenged Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. So that's also a possibility. If you watched her press conference last night, they alluded to it again. So we have the Women's World Championship held by Rhea Ripley, the NXT Women's Championship held by Julia, and the WWE Women's Championship being held by Tiffany Stratton. Now let's start with the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley. Now granted, Rhea Ripley doesn't have any immediate challenges for the title. We don't know if she'll be defending at Elimination Chamber in Toronto. So the tentative match as of now would be Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, which would be a redo of the match they did at WrestleMania 39, which quite frankly was the best match of that WrestleMania. The chemistry is there. Both women always put on bangers when they face each other. It would be the third time that both women would face off against each other at a WrestleMania 36. Young Rhea Ripley, who wasn't quite mommy just yet. She wasn't even anywhere close to mommy, if we want to be honest. But this is not the path I see them going with. And the reason why is we've seen them do it already. I don't know that you want to pair Charlotte with Rhea again. Granted, yes, Rhea doesn't really have the widest pool of challengers for her title. So that's a bit of an interesting thing. Also, I don't see how Charlotte Flair goes into WrestleMania and loses again. That would pretty much derail all of the work they've done to bring her back in this somewhat evolved version of the Charlotte Flair character. You know, there's a few differences. She's still the same, but she is embracing fully who she is as the queen. And it's something that, I mean, she has, but this is another level. And if you watch the Royal Rumble, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go watch it, then you will see exactly what I'm saying. It's a slightly different Charlotte Flair, a little more elevated, accepting who she is, stepping into this other dimension as the queen. Now, I don't see them doing this match. The next probable match we could have is that for the NXT Women's Championship being held by Julia. Currently, for Vengeance Day, there is a triple threat match scheduled between Julia, Bayley, and Roxanne Perez. And quite honestly, Charlotte could do what she did 5 years ago and pick that title. And it would be a dream match, honestly, because Charlotte's facing off against Roxanne Perez. Okay, not WrestleMania worthy, I don't think, so that might not be the case. Bayley, we have seen a version of this. If you remember WrestleMania 33, there was that fatal four-way match for the Raw Women's Championship, which features Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. So I don't think they're going in that direction. Charlotte and Julia is quite interesting. I don't see that either. Now let's go to the SmackDown side of things, and specifically the WWE Women's Championship. As of now, also Tiffany Stratton doesn't have any tentative challengers, although the pool of challengers is wider with her. We just have to admit that she hasn't really faced everybody, whereas Rhea has run through everybody. So it would be quite interesting. We've heard the rumors for a while, Charlotte Flair taking on Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Light versus Charlotte. You know, that would be very interesting to see. I would be very interested in seeing how that match plays out. And it could go either way. If you want to be really honest, it could really go either way. Tiffany could win. I wouldn't have a problem with it. It would further elevate her. And Charlotte could also win. It would also elevate Tiffany in a sense. They could have one of the best feuds leading into WrestleMania before WrestleMania, and that would be pretty cool. Although I'd like to see Tiffany hold the gold past WrestleMania, although I don't think that's going to happen, but it's great that we are doing this with Tiffany. I don't know if Charlotte's going to pick her, but I think that's the match they should go with. If Charlotte winning the Rumble was the easiest way for them to get to this match, then it makes perfect sense why she did win. I did think that Jade Cargill was going to win, but then Jade never even showed up in the Rumble, and that leads me to question the severity of this injury which she is sidelined with. Also, Jade would have that storyline with Bianca and Naomi potentially to see who it was that attacked her. And now looking at what happened at the Rumble last night, I really suspect that it is Bianca Belair. You know, remember that Jordan Grace moment they had. But that being said, I think that Charlotte Flair is going to challenge Tiffany Stratton. We are going to have a very athletic match between two of, quite frankly, the best performers in the WWE's women's division. Now we come to the men's side of things. And listen, if anybody tells you that they believe Jey Uso was going to win this year's Rumble, they are flat out lying to you, because nobody saw this coming. Most people saw CM Punk winning. People saw Jacob Fatu as a dark horse. People saw Roman Reigns potentially winning, although they really didn't want to see Roman versus Cody 3 at WrestleMania. People even saw Drew McIntyre or Seth potentially winning. Nobody saw Jey Uso winning. Not even me. I thought Sami Zayn was going to win based on how the trajectory of his story had been going, and especially after seeing his interaction between Homelander Cody Rhodes as he was holding up his fallen friend Kevin Owens after pretty much running himself into the ground. But nonetheless, Jey Uso has 3 parts as well, and they are quite interesting. So let's run through them. The first one is one he's been on before, the World Heavyweight Championship with the current champion Gunther. As of now, Gunther has no challenges in his way just yet. The one thing I should mention is a lot of what will happen at Elimination Chamber will be based on the decision that Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso take, because if they select their champions before Elimination Chamber, then we know that, okay, both Elimination Chambers will be number 1 contenders matches for the remaining World Championships at WrestleMania. So we are looking at a situation where Jey Uso could potentially pick Gunther. And yes, we've seen this match before. We saw it at Saturday night's main event. Jey Uso even alluded in his press conference that he thinks he can beat Gunther. We'll see. Mind you, Jey Uso has also challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship already. I think it was Backlash. Yes, it was Backlash France. Jey Uso challenged Damian Priest in Damian's first title defense, and that was a solid match, you know. So it could go in that direction. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not even sure about it yet. Then you have the path of NXT, Jey Uso versus Obafemi, and that would be a very interesting match, guys. You know, now I've never spoken extensively about Obafemi on this channel, but listen, I cannot help but be proud of Obafemi and what he's doing, not only for Nigeria on the WWE stage, but for Africa as a whole. I mean, that's how we are. If an African talent is doing well, we'll claim you. We may not claim you entirely, but that's just how we do it. Now listen, I've thought about this match idea, and if there are any Nigerian audience watching this video, let me know if this works. WWE, if you're listening to it, please take up this idea as well. Now there's a term that Nigerians use, which is Oga. Oga pretty much means like big man. It kind of, I don't know if it means ruler, but it gives that connotation of that. And I think they should start calling Obafemi Oga, like the Oga of NXT. You understand? So I thought about this match idea when Obafemi won the NXT championship, which would be Oga don't land, you know. So it's like the Oga is here, the Oba don't land, but instead you say Oga don't land. I know I'm spitballing with this idea. It's a very long shot. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but please, WWE, if you can hear me, Obafemi, if you are watching this video, please let them make this shirt Oga don't land, and then it has him doing the thing with the NXT title. It would be pretty cool. Anyway, I've shot my shot. Also, Obafemi, I would like to interview you one day. I think it would be very cool. I've shot my shot. Let's see what happens. Oga, I salute you. Anyway, let's continue. So let's see. Obafemi, Jey Uso. I don't know if they do this match. It would be very intriguing, but I don't think that they would do that because Obafemi does need more reps. I think they have to build him up to this point where he has come to the main roster and just dominate. I can actually see Obafemi being in the Royal Rumble match next year along with Trick Williams. I did think it was going to happen this year, but it didn't happen. But yeah, that's a potential match for later, just not now. And that's okay. Now, this is the more intriguing path, and I don't think anybody has thought about it, and I will present it right now. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. Now, listen, Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes are pretty much attached to the hip. Their story extends from 2023. You know, Jey Uso was well and deep with the bloodline and Roman Reigns and was fighting for the sovereignty and protection of Roman Reigns' historic title reign as undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Now, eventually that dynamic would change with the internal workings of the bloodline. Jey Uso would move over to Raw because of Cody Rhodes and then win championship gold with Cody Rhodes. They became tag team champions together. They've always maintained a great relationship. When Cody won the title at WrestleMania last year, part of that was because Jey Uso helped him. Jey Uso aligned himself with Cody Rhodes. Now you have a situation where Jey is like, until we meet again, which was a pretty cool line before Cody moved fully to SmackDown as WWE champion. Now, we could come back full circle to this moment with Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes because Cody is changing. Cody is changing. He's not entirely a heel. He's not even a heel, but he has snapped. He's pretty much Homelander at this point. He just doesn't realize it. But if you saw what happened with he and Kevin Owens, it was clear. Cody has become Homelander, and there's no telling where this could go. Initially, Cody was also looking quite dejected. CM Punk did bring something out of him on the last promo on Monday Night Raw. Because in my Royal Rumble prediction video, I mentioned the fact that CM Punk seems to be painting the WWE Championship as a bit of an albatross on the neck of Cody Rhodes because it's starting to weigh on him. He's getting increasingly irritated. It's slow, but it's happening, you know. So that's something that could happen. And Jey Uso could go like, hey man, it will be an honor to face you. Now, I know most people wouldn't see it, but it could very well happen. I think it would be a very emotional story. I think it would tug on the heartstrings of so many people if they were to go in this direction. And if they do it right, we could have by far or potentially one of the best feuds and best storylines going into a WrestleMania over the WWE Championship. And let's consider this. If Jey Uso were to win the WWE Championship, what happens with he and Roman Reigns? Because does Roman start to get jealous again? Does he try to turn to the dark side again to get back his title at the expense of sacrificing his cousin, who he almost sacrificed 5 years before when the bloodline storyline started? So, you know, there's just so many possibilities. And quite honestly, if I were WWE, I probably might tell that story. It would sell tickets. Now, granted, you also have to do this in case The Rock doesn't show up. And also, I don't know. I get this feeling that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins will finally have a one-on-one WrestleMania match. That will leave CM Punk on the outs. I don't know what happens there, but listen, guys, we are in for a ride. I'm starting to get a bit of an epiphany right now as I'm recording this video. I think that somehow we could actually have a situation where CM Punk would face Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena could do that match with Logan Paul, as everybody has been speculating. At WrestleMania, Jey Uso could take on Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns could face Seth Rollins. Granted, The Rock doesn't get involved. As for Drew McIntyre, I think Drew McIntyre could go after Damian Priest because, you know, the interaction in the Rumble was quite interesting. So that's what I think. Maybe I predicted the whole WrestleMania match card. I don't know. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Let me know which of these potential paths intrigues you. If you want to see another video from my channel, please click on this video that YouTube is recommending. My name is Andy. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you very soon. Till then, take care. God bless you. Peace.